Yeah, welcome. It is Wassup Flobo. It's the show where I just sit here and talk in front of you guys for a couple moments, getting myself into trouble, into various adventures. As you guys noticed, last week I put this DC superhero background thing, and I thought it was pretty cool because it has a list of basically all the top superstars of heroes and villains in DC Comics. It's starting to grow on me. Like I liked it when I put it up there, but getting up in the morning and being like, oh snap, Superman is in my house. That's always cool. I always shout out to the Green Lantern, and then my fake plant that I got for Christmas. Shout out to Mandy Young, man. Yeah, Mandy Hicks. She was amazing for that. So what's up, those where I sit and I talk, I rap, we talk, we just chill, we shoot the breeze, shoot the S, and all that. Again, thank you so much for checking out these podcasts, live stream shows, or whatever. I do have the YT Studio app. It's basically the app for YouTube creators, which sounds really, really fancy. But it's cool to see that people are actually watching these things and sharing it. They come from different parts of the internet. Very, very small scale. Obviously, I have dozens and dozens of views. But the idea is that we get to grow. And if it's something you like, tell a friend about, which I also appreciate. In the past couple episodes, we were kind of taking more of like the historical approach. I talked about the first time I did comedy, and I really talked about the last time about hosting and how the mixture of comedy and hosting and my experiences working with AfterBuzz made me that much better performer. Not to make it all about me, even though my name is in the title and it's on a channel that supports me and me alone. I really wanted to talk to you about one of the few things I learned in comedy as far as like good rules of thumb and things to live by that you could always extract. So today we're talking about the one rule that I learned in comedy class. I referenced this before. I took class. First time doing comedy, I took a class. There's nothing wrong with that. To me at first, it was a big stigma for me to say, yeah, man, I learned comedy by going to a class here in Los Angeles. And, I didn't feel like I was legit or I was real. But the one thing I realized when it comes to things, maybe this might be an episode into itself, is that there really is no set way of doing anything. If you learn to drive a car with an automatic first, it doesn't mean you can't drive vehicles. It means you just haven't learned stick yet. If you edit your movies on your phone first, doesn't mean you're not an editor. It's that the tools are this set. You can always build on that later. But when I first did comedy, I was like, oh man, I can't let people know I went to a school, because growing up, the legend was the generation before, your Seinfelds, your Chris Rocks, even your Chris Tuckers, was they worked all day. And at night, they went to these clubs and hung out and chatted and learned jokes with other people for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Would a class be considered a shortcut? And the answer is no. No, it's not. Because when it's all said and done, you can give anyone the information. It's really what they do with it. One of the things I've noticed growing up, or not growing up, one of the things I noticed working on projects, growing as a creator, that someone will ask you, I want to pick your brain. Let me pick your brain and ask you questions, where it just turns out that people just want all the information with a minimal amount of effort. That's kind of what pick your brain is. I hate doing it on the receiving end. This is why when I meet someone that I really want to connect with, I'll try to say, let's have a conversation where I can give you information too. That's the way it's beneficial for everybody. But taking someone out who's already famous, or who you perceive as famous or perceive as successful, to pick their brain is just going to waste their time. Because most people, not to say they're selfish, it's kind of like, why is that valuable to me, right? But one of the things I realize about the whole picking brain thing is that those who know it's what you do with it is willing to tell you information. Here, this is how I did it, X, Y, and Z. If you have the wherewithal to take that and to make that work for you, cool. Most people will take that information, nod, and say, okay, and not do anything about it. There are some people who are like, no, you're not getting the information from me. It took me forever to get it. But you really were. I am of the fine school of being as open as possible. Like when I became a more established host of a thing, people are asking me, how do I do it? I share everything. In fact, if you leave a question in the comments, I'll try to answer as quick as I can. So I'm going to tell you one of the first, not the first. There's a lot of firsts in comedy class. You learn about like presence and joke structure. That's not what we're here for. But one of the first comedy lessons that I learned that stuck with me in life Shout out to Adam Barnhart in the clown school, the clown comedy school in downtown Los Angeles. That's basically where I got my start. If you don't know Adam Barnhart, he is a legend. Has been running the clown show at the Comedy Store for 15 years, over on Sunday nights in the Belly Room. One of his signature things that he does, and it's not even like you have to buy his class to get this information, because he runs an open mic too, and people who go to the open mic get the same information. It's about clearing. It's about clearing is before you even attempt to make jokes, you basically let the audience know where you're at a headspace kind of level. Now, I'm not saying you grab the mic and go, yeah, man, my wife's leaving me and life's pretty bad. But that was some jokes. No, but the idea is you address the elephant in the room. If I remember one time specifically, I was on waiting, and there was a background. I was waiting to go on stage, and they called my name, and the air conditioner went on, and it was just this loud hum, and I got on stage, and I was like, wow, it sounds like I'm in an action movie. Now, the joke itself was pretty lame, but if you're sitting there, and I tried to ignore the do and try to perform, it would actually come off as disingenuine on some level. I went. One of my first ever shows was a show called Whores on Sunday, and it was called that way because it was sponsored by Hustler magazine, so it has a bit of a sexual thing to it. I was not nervous when they called my name, but I was getting nervous beforehand, and I got like the nervous sweats. And so by the time I got on stage, I felt great, but I still had my face, my forehead, my five head was still glistening. And so I said, man, I sure am sweating like a whore on Sunday. Again, not funny, but it addresses what's going on. The audience knows what they're in for. A lot of times when I'm on a show and a lot of jokes are off color, you don't want to bury other people. You don't want to bury and say, that guy sucked. But let's say you have a set that's clean, and you're in a dirty club. You're in a club that accepts the adult humor. And everyone before you is doing the adult humor. You know that if you come in squeaky clean, it may be seen as like weak or not funny or not good. Anyone in the rap game to know, we always turn our nose up at Will Smith because he never cursed in his rhymes, right? What I gotta do sometimes is to set the mood to say, hey, look, I acknowledge the artists before me and respect to them, but now here's what I'm gonna do. I just come and say, wow, we've been through some stuff tonight, right? And the fact that I say some stuff is clean, but then it also acknowledges, hey, look, everyone has done everything before, and I'm doing something a little different. It's not bad. So clearing helps out in so many things. A lot of times in our relationships with other people, our significant others or our parents, a lot of times I just say, hey, look, I know you're yelling at me for not taking out the trash. I will do that. Just want to let you know up the top of my head, some guy cut me off and flipped me off in traffic, even though he was in the wrong. It's still with me right now. Let me go handle my trash taking out duties. And the fact is, you still are complying, but then people know where your headspace is at. It's kind of like micro talking it out. When people are suffering with life, they always say, hey, man, talk it out with somebody. Talk it out. And I do recommend it. I'm not here to poo-poo on that. But a lot of times, if you're like me, you'll wait until like it's almost unbearable before making a decision. Okay, I'll talk to somebody. But I think with clearing, when you're in the room and you say what's on your mind in the moment, what happened to you today, what happened to you over the week, it's like little small micro shares. That's not going to solve all your problems, but definitely make things a little easier. So it's okay to address the elephant in the room. It's okay to say what's on your mind. It's okay to say your objections and your fears to an extent. I mean, you don't want to say, man, guys, welcome to the comedy show. I hope someone laughs, or else I'm a hack and my parents are right. I should become a lawyer. But if you're like, hey, man, we're doing new stuff tonight, we're going to have a good time, then it has the same kind of effect, and you're open with someone. So with your relationships, with your friends, with your job and your promotion, it's like, hey, look, man, I know I've been putting in the work. I do think I should get a raise. Let's talk about it. Right? Just say what's on your mind, and that opens you up to really back up and reinforce why you feel the way you do. It's almost like a thesis statement. And if you guys have ever went to college classes, even high school classes, thesis statement, analysis and proof to back up that thesis statement, statement, proof, analysis, right? I deserve a raise. Here's why. Last quarter, we came up with some new marketing initiatives, and we did this and this and this. And here are my data, my analytics that proves what I'm saying is true based on the numbers. Very, very arcane example, but you get the idea. Here, guys, it's all new stuff. We're going to have a good time. Proof. Hey, I'm a new comic. I'm a comic for a long time. This is new material. I really want to try some new stuff for you guys tonight. I feel a connection to you guys. You guys are amazing. Let me show you how fun I am with this first new joke. You chuckled. That's the analysis. It's kind of like that. You put out there the thesis statement. You clear what's on your mind, and that opens you up to say and do a lot more. And it kind of makes you more genuine to other people. It makes you seem more authentic to other people. Not saying you should be authentic even if you're not, but you really want to make sure that when people get you, they understand what you're about, whether it is professionally, whether it's creatively, whether it's just you walking to work or you walking down the street. So that's number one rule in comedy I've learned and always stuck with me. Clearing is important. Say what's on your mind. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. We need more elephants in rooms, but just go ahead and do it. And I hope that you guys can use that for your life, for your projects, for your whatever you're working on. Now, I want to say thank you so much for checking out this edition of Wassup Flobo and all the other editions of Wassup Flobo. Tell a friend about it, clip it out, share it on social media. I'm here, man. I'm not sure how often we're going to do this. I'm kind of playing with 2 times a week, 3 times a week, 5 times a week. Whenever the inspiration strikes, you let me know. Comment, subscribe, tell a buddy, tell a friend. Until next time, man. Peace.